In this episode, we're going to look at the calendar component. And to add the calendar component to your project, we first need to import it to the page. We're still on the dashboard page, and we still have access to the posts array available to us. I've created a new variable called date, which is used in the component right at the bottom here. So the date that we choose from the component gets stored in the date variable right here. So let's have a look at the component in the browser. This is how the component looks in the browser. It shows up like a text box, and if you click on it, it will show you the calendar, and you can choose any date you want. There are many options to this component, and I'll take you through the options too, but let's just choose today's date. So, and that's how the date is going to show here. So you can change the way date is displayed in the component here. And if I open up the dev tools, I want to show you uh, how it looks in the date variable. So let's look at, let's open up the page here. I'm going to just click on dashboard. Let's get to, yeah, so this is how the date gets stored in the variable that we created. Now let's have a look at the different options. Let's change the date format of the calendar first. Putting the date format to the component is easy. We just need to type date format here, and then we can change the format to the way we want. So let's change the format to let's say, because the default is date, month, year. Let's keep the date the same way. So we need 2 digits, and then we can put a space right after it. And then I want um, the long name of month. So I can just type in as you can see from the screenshot on the right. So that should display the full name of the month, and then we can add the full year. I think this is a good format to go with. So let's just save that here and view it in the browser. So let's choose today's date again. So I'm going to just click on the drop down and select today's date. And as we change the format, you can see we have 2 digits, then the full name of the month, a comma, and then the full year after it. So this format looks good, but the date, as you can see, is saved the same way. So that format didn't change. It only changed the way it looks. So this is, of course, another great feature of the component. Now let's look at the next feature now. Next thing I wanted to show you was the icons. You can change icons on the calendar too. So there are many different ways of changing the icon on it. So first thing you want to do is just choose this option here. So show icon, that's all you need to type. And if you just do that and save it, and let's view it in the browser. As you can see on the component, we have an icon on the right side. So we were launching the calendar by focusing on it before and choosing a date. But now we can also launch the calendar by clicking on this icon, and we can choose the date the same way. But if you have an icon on the component, I think it would be best to not launch the calendar when you click on it, when you focus on it here. So only launch the calendar when you click on the icon. So let's make that change now. And to make that change, all we need to do is just change show on focus to false. And that's it. So let's save and view it in the browser. Now you'll see if I click on it here, it won't launch the calendar, and it's only going to launch when you click on the icon. So I think it's a great way to use this component. Having an icon does make it look really good. So, but there are many ways of showing the icon. So let's look at the next option too. The icon was showing on the right side outside the text box before. We can add it within the text box too, just by adding in this command. So I'm going to just change the icon display settings basically. So I'm just going to type in icon display and change that to input. save it. And now you can see the icon is displayed within the text box. So it's not showing outside of it here, but it's showing within the text box, and it's still launching the calendar the same way. This just makes it prettier, but it's up to you if you want to use it outside or inside. There's one more way we can use this calendar component. It's really an amazing versatile component. So you can also use it with time. So let's change the time settings too. As I said before, if you wanted to use the calendar for just time only, you can do that. So you can do that by just adding in the simple command, and it's called time only. So I'll type that in here, and you'll see that the component will change dramatically, and it will only show the time only. So let's add that in here, and let's look at it in the browser. I'll just bring back the icon too. So I and play and just change, put it back to input. Perfect. So let's save it. And as you can see, the component has changed dramatically. So if you click on the component now, you will just see the time. So you can just choose the time that you want. It's just amazing. Just with one simple option, you're able to change the component entirely. I mean, it's still selecting the full date, but you're only showing the time there, so which is amazing. So let's look at the next thing now. Next thing I wanted to show you was a minimum and maximum date that we can set on the calendar component. So I've created a few variables here in my dashboard page. So minimum date, min date, max date, and I'm basically setting a month. So min date is going to be a year and 1 month back. That's what this means. And the max date would be just a month ahead in the future. So that's going to be the only valid dates that the calendar will allow. And then we can add min and max date to the component. And I'll show you how it looks in the browser. Okay, so we are here in the browser, and let's open up the calendar, and you can see I'll just remove the date completely. So we can see a month ahead in the future, and a year and 1 month back in the past, and everything else is just grayed out. So if I go back to January 2023, I won't be able to select any of these dates, and so this is the minimum date, and this is the maximum date, so a month in the future. So we cannot select any date after April the 17th. So this is the min and max date concept. So last thing we're going to look at is the ranged date, and then this will conclude the video. Okay, so just like everything else, changing the mode from a single selecting mode to a double selecting mode, basically selecting a range of dates, is extremely easy. So all we have to do is just add this option to the component, and that's it. And let me show you in the browser how it looks. So here we have the component in the browser, and now if I click on the component, of course the calendar is going to pop up. So let's select today's date, and then select, let's say, this coming Saturday, right? So this will select this whole range. It will store the start and the end date in the model that we selected. So let me show you in the component 2 in the view dev tools. You can see right here. So it changes that into an array. So the our model changes to an array with a start and an end date. And that's, I mean, this is of course extremely useful for if you're making, if you're working on a project that, let's say, Expedia or something, or like a travel agency or anything like that, anything that involves dates. This is of course an excellent way to use it. It's right out of the box, and with just one option, you'll be able to use it like that. So this video is getting long enough. There are many other features I can go and show you about this component, but I will stop right here. And please, if you like this video, like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel, so thank you so much for watching.